All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the March 12, 2024 Hempstead Town Board meeting. Madam Clerk, always good to see you. St. Patrick's Day. Please call the roll. I'm here.
Councilman Creaney.
Here.
Councilman Dunn.
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Here.
Councilwoman Miller. Oh, yeah. Councilman Muscarella.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Here.
And Receiver of Taxes Janine Driscoll.
Here.
Okay, speaking of Receiver of Taxes, Jeanine Driscoll, perhaps you would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right hand over your heart, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Madam Receiver. Madam Clerk, please call the first public hearing.
Yes, we have the petition of the Commissioner of Buildings to demolish and remove a two-story wood frame, one-family dwelling with attached two-car garage, and to remove all litter and debris from the property in East Meadow.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I don't have any slips on this item. Anybody else wish to be heard did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move that we close the hearing and adopt the item.
Second that motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have the petition of the Commissioner of Buildings to demolish and remove a two-story split-level wood frame, one-family dwelling with attached two-car garage, and to remove all litter and debris from the property in Oceanside.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I don't have any slips. Anybody in the public wish to be heard on this item did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move that the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding parking or standing prohibitions in Elmont.
All right, any member of the board wish to be heard? I don't have any slips on this. Any member of the public did not sign in wishes to be heard on item number 3? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding arterial stops in Belmore.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips on item number 4. Anybody wish to be heard on item number 4 did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item. Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding U-turns prohibited in Elmont and Franklin Square.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips on this from the public on item number 5. Wish to be heard, did not sign in. If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Yes. Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
Yes, we have a proposed handicap parking on public streets in Levittown.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips. Any member of the public wish to be heard, did not sign on this item. If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item. Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
A hearing to consider authorizing Town of Hempstead Sanitary District Number 6 to sell at auction surplus machinery and equipment.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips on item number 6. Anybody else wish to be heard that did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Is there a second?
Second, please.
Okay. So Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law to amend Section 101-2 of Chapter 101 and to amend Section 101A2 of Chapter 101A of the Code of the Town of Hempstead in relation to extending the temporary moratoria until June 18th, 2024 in the Transit-Oriented Development District Neighborhood Business Overlay District and Residential Townhouse Row House Overlay District for North Lawrence and Inwood.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard on this? I have a number of slips that signed in on this. We'll start with Dr. Alan Simon first. If you go to the mic and you please give your name and address when you sign in there. Doctor, if you would.
Good morning.
Morning. Name and address, please.
Excuse me?
Name and address, please.
Dr. Alan Simon, 284 Central Avenue, Lawrence, New York.
Yes, sir.
I know why we're all here, and I didn't prepare a specific speech, but my feeling is this. I think that we need this building. I think it's very important that we put more construction in. We need more pollution. We need more car accidents. We need more early deaths. We need more asthma. It's good for business, and I hope it goes forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, doctor. That's interesting. Next, I'm going to call Johnny Rodriguez. No, Johnny Rodriguez? Good morning. If you give your name and address for the record, thank you.
Morning. My name is Johnny Rodriguez. I live at 299 Yale Street, right here in Hempstead. I feel like I wanted this project to move forward. I went to school right here across the street at ABGS Middle School. I'm a resident at 299 Yale Street. I'm also a Plumbers Local 200 union member, a fifth-year apprentice, and what this project means to me is job security. It means 250 construction jobs for fellow construction workers here on Long Island. It means bringing business into our local economy. Every mom and pop shop, every local business is set to benefit from this project. I myself am hopeful that we will pass this project and bring life to the community. As a Hempstead resident, I welcome local investments. I want our brightest and our smartest residents to find opportunity here at home. So I ask, as a Hempstead resident, please don't take our jobs away. Every minute that we keep putting off this project is one less job we create. That's one less Long Island resident without a job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Yes. Obviously, we have a number of fans here. We can, we'll just have everybody come up here and speak because it will turn into a clapping and booing ceremony. So respectfully, I've done this at a number of proceedings. I'm going to ask everybody to hold their applause and we'll just kind of have everybody come up here and not get into that whole issue there. Joseph Stallone. I got you. Okay. Makes sense. Hi, name and address, please.
Joseph Stallone from Center H, 7 Jeremy Court, Center H. Here on behalf of Mike Florio, CEO of Long Island Builders Institute, and Kyle Strober, Executive Director of ABLI, to read this letter to you. Dear Supervisor Clavin, we write on behalf of ABLI and Libby, Long Island's leading economic development organizations, in opposition to the proposed extension of the Inwood and North Lawrence Overlay District moratorium by the town of Hempstead. Specifically, we are opposed to the 90-day moratorium extension for the Transit-Oriented Development District, Neighborhood Business Overlay District, Residential Townhouse Row House Overlay District for North Lawrence and Inwood. Furthermore, we respectfully request that the board remove all development moratoriums within the town of Hempstead. Long Island, including the town of Hempstead, continues to suffer from a lack of housing, which is essential to keep young professionals here while allowing our seniors to age in place. Both represent strong, dynamic sectors of our economy, and ignoring the challenges they face places our region at strategic risk. We commend this board's effort to spur housing development, but more must be done. Ending the current moratorium would be a decisive and significant action that would create the needed progress on created housing opportunities that support overall economic growth. Analysis continues to reveal housing developments generate tax revenue and create jobs, which result in a substantial positive impact for those taxpayers within local school districts. When a moratorium is placed on such developments, the local municipality is effectively reduced reducing the town's tax base, shifting the tax burden onto its residents. Hempstead Town has an opportunity to avoid harmful policies such as this proposed moratorium extension. It would harm the very region the board seeks to strengthen. Moratoriums also limit the rights of property owners who invest in our region based on the existing zoning maps. Based on these facts, ABLI and Libby strongly oppose the proposed extension of the Inwood and North Lawrence Overlay District moratorium and respectfully request that the board remove all development moratoriums within the town of Hempstead so they may build a future that not only keeps the seniors in our communities but welcomes a new generation of homeowners. Signed, Kyle Strober, Executive Director of ABLI, and Michael Florio, CEO of Libby. Thank you.
Okay, do me a favor, when you go back and you see Kyle and Michael, and I'll make sure I do, remind them that the town of Hempstead, and they stood with us last year, we're happy about the development we did of over 400 units in West Hempstead, as well as hundreds of units down in Baldwin. So when you go back to them, tell them I don't appreciate their misrepresentation to anybody in this audience that we don't allow any of it. And I find it rather disingenuous that they would include that, considering they stood by us not a year ago, actually applauding us in other units. And please do take that message back to them, because when I see them, I'll let them know too. All right, thank you so much. Next, I'm going to call up Lenny Minervi. And if I mispronounce your name, it's not on purpose. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever it is, and just your name and address. Thanks.
My name is Lenny Minervini.
There you go.
272 Chestnut Avenue, East Meadow, New York. Dear council members, thank you for taking the time to listen to our concerns today. At this time, we are hearing every day about housing crises throughout the area. I don't think this is a good time to extend the moratorium for any housing development, considering the amount of young and older residents leaving the island for various reasons. With lack of housing being one of the major ones. I feel you must not extend the moratorium for a variety of reasons. One, the need for more housing. Two, the need for more transit-oriented development with a car option lifestyle to revitalize downtown areas like Great Neck Plaza, West Hempstead, and Westbury, to name a few. Three, the good-paying jobs that will be created in our community. Four, the removal of old industrial and blighted properties. And five, the influx of consumers for the local businesses. Once again, thanks for your attention to this matter.
Thank you very much. Next, I'm going to ask Brian Kearney. Morning, name and address, please. Thank you.
Good morning, Brian Carney. I'm with the Steamfitters Union, Local 638. We represent New York City and Nassau, Suffolk County. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here. Residential development is lacking in New York, all over the state, and it's important to build, residences, working class residences, and affordable residents, especially close to mass transit. It provides jobs for the construction unions and also all the businesses around it. The economy thrives when construction jobs and high-paying jobs fuel the economy. So we're here to support it, and we'd appreciate your support in that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. Next, I have Alan Kennemere.
Good morning. My name is Alan Kinnemer, 263 Mercury Street, East Meadow. I don't want to repeat a lot of things. I'm here to oppose the moratorium, just to reinforce what everybody's talked about. The living conditions that we need there for seniors, for our young people, to keep them from leaving. The job creation, not only for the construction, but the deli, the 7-Eleven, everything in that area. Walking to the Long Island Railroad. I was involved in the Westbury project. They just completed phase 1, and it's 35% rented already. Environmentally, it's going to remove the industrial and blighted areas. In general, I oppose the moratorium. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for taking the time to come in. Next, I have Charles Barreto.
Good morning. Charles Barreto.
There you go.
Good morning, Mr. Supervisor, Town Council members. Charles Barreto, 2163 Jones Avenue in Wantaw. Similarly to the people that I'm following, I would ask that the supervisor and the council oppose the extension of the moratorium. It's clear that there's a need for more housing, not only in Nassau County, but specifically town of Hempstead. Typically, the moratorium will continue to stall development at a time when it's most needed. We know that it'll create jobs, generate consumer interest, create new business, sales tax, and real estate, and as again was mentioned, remove some of the blighted areas. So I would ask that you oppose the extension. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, I have Sean Meehan.
Hello, Supervisor and Board. I just want to thank you for giving us the chance to speak. My name is Sean Meehan. I'm with IB, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 25. We are strongly against this extension of this moratorium. We represent over 2,000 active members, another 2,000 retirees plus their families. This creates housing for everybody. It's something that would be good moving forward, to create jobs, to create stimulus for the community, and to build more, and have us guys working with good paying jobs for local unions. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Raymond. Always nice to see you. Thank you. Let's see what we got. All right, next I have Paris Popak. Good morning, name and address. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for hearing from us today. I'm Paris Popak, Village of Lawrence Deputy Mayor, and have lived in Lawrence for 29 years. I was elected to represent the Village of Lawrence residents and their quality of life, and I'm here requesting an extension on the moratorium set to expire in 2 days. As I have said before, I am not anti-development. Development is not bad, but in the right areas. Inwood, North Lawrence, and Rockaway Turnpike are not the right area for multiple family developments. We simply don't have the infrastructure to support it. Transit-oriented development means a reduced maximum cap on parking. Each proposed TOD development has hundreds of parking spots for their rental tenants. This is not a TOD district as it's supposed to be. It is absolute that these TOD and townhouse row house projects will negatively affect us all in the 5 towns in Far Rockaway. The community has grown and is riddled with alarming, dangerous driving conditions. Accidents are reported daily. Evacuations will be compromised, if not impossible. This will be unforgivable tragedy if lives are lost. We must also address the 878 completion. As stated by Deputy Presiding Officer Howard Capel, Rockaway Boulevard already carries many multiples of the volume of traffic for which it was designed many years ago. Several times a day, most days, traffic is backed up in both directions, causing severe delays for motorists. We have seen southbound traffic backed up all the way to the Southern State Parkway. That's 7 miles. As you are aware, an Amazon warehouse was recently constructed on Rockaway Boulevard. We are afraid to guess and experience the impact of hundreds of daily trucks and tractor trailers going in and out of the facility and onto our roads expected this December. Planning for our community was really non-existent. The existing developments were not considered when moving forward with zoning, like the 1,500 apartments that are constructed in Far Rockaway right now across the 878. We need to change this. All the 5 towns are interlinked, and yet there's no coordination for zoning. So far, all are acting on their own, creating havoc and destroying suburban life. We need change. We need pro-family community zoning, single-family housing, parks, a sorely needed library, shopping, dining, a ball field. These would uplift the area of concern. This needs to be planned out properly. I'm not an expert, but I'd be available to meet with anyone to work on replanning the area. All construction should be stopped and the zoning reversed. While I am asking for the moratorium extension, at the end of the day, it's really not enough. As our esteemed elected officials, please protect us, stop the overdevelopment, and make our safety, health, and quality of life the priority now and for future generations. I realize you're demanding our governor keep suburbia throughout Long Island, and we're asking for you to do the same thing. Keep our communities suburban, not urban, and safe. Extend the moratorium and rezone the area. Thank you. I understand the need for work and people want good jobs. If this is done properly, they'd have the jobs, if it's the right development. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. In addition, you brought up one thing, and I think you know, when does the Amazon facility actually start processing? Just for, if you know when it is, if you do.
One of the people that couldn't come today went into the facility and started talking to people there.
Okay.
They said December they're expected to start rolling out hundreds.
Okay, I'm going to have one of our attorneys follow up with you, but thank you very much. Judy Bernstein. Good morning, name and address, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Judy Bernstein, 54 Meadow Lane, and I live in Lawrence. I made some handouts for all of you to refer to.
Okay.
One of the handouts is from Cameron Engineering. It's a synopsis of a 22-page report. There were a couple of statements on that report that I really have to question. Number one, the proposed development will attract and retain a younger population, empty nesters, and seniors. Number two, the proposed development will improve traffic conditions. And number three, the proposed development will improve public safety. Based on another handout or something that I saw on the internet, it's estimated about over 2,000 apartments. So please refer to the map of the 5 towns. That's the last page of the handout I gave you. It's of 5 towns, Far Rockaway, and this is the fatal flaw of the report that was supplied originally. The engineers did not take into consideration our neighbors in Queens, that's Far Rockaway, Arvin, Bayswater, and Edgemere, nor Atlantic Beach or Long Beach. This is also very important. The North Lawrence Initiative shares one of its borders with 878, and as does the Inwood Initiative. So how will traffic be improved? How so? The main routes in our area are 878, Rockaway Turnpike, and Peninsula Boulevard. These roads are noted as evacuation routes, which I also included from the Nassau County website. That's our evacuation route in case of emergency. This road will be used by not just the residents of Atlantic Beach, Long Beach, and Lawrence. It will also be used by our neighbors in Queens and Cedarhurst. One of the ideas says, proceed on 878, turn right onto Burnside Avenue, turn left onto Rockaway Turnpike, and then turn right onto Peninsula Boulevard. Thousands of cars will be traveling on that road. I can't even imagine how safe that could be. The proposed development also notes no impact on the school district. With over 2,000 apartments planned, none will be available for families? Really? I find that a very disingenuous statement. So who's going to pay for the new school? The teachers, the custodial staff, school buses, teachers, social workers, administrative staff, and let's not forget additional police and firemen. I have addressed 3 points on the original report, and this original report was flawed. The zoning was changed based on that report. Therefore, I urge you to rescind the zoning. Now, I'm not opposed to development, but it has to be done right. You want good paying jobs? We all want good paying jobs, but it has to be done the right way. So thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the submissions. Next, I have Hannah Birdie. Hi, good morning. If you give your name and address, please. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Hannah Burdett. My address is 125 Lefferts Road in Woodmere, New York. I am a resident of the 5 towns. Unlike many of those who've already spoken who oppose the moratorium, do not live in the neighborhood. I am also an urban planning professional and real estate developer with a master's degree from Harvard University. I say the 5 towns rather than a specific town to emphasize the close intertwined and interdependent nature of these towns. And I'll echo what the previous speaker said, that the studies that were conducted here did not take into consideration the developments that are happening in the localities that do not fall under the town of Hempstead. I have to encourage the board to create a regional requirement for all studies that take into consideration development in these towns. Planning must be done regionally. Additionally, when this rezoning was initially done, there was a determination that there would be no impact, which did not require a full seeker analysis and study, which is required by New York State law. The reason New York State has a seeker law is to take into consideration the impacts on the community in order to create good living conditions for the community. I encourage the board to take another look at the impact this development will actually have. We've spoke about the impact on school and traffic, but how about the waterways? How about the sewers? Our roads consistently flood. It takes me about 15 minutes to drive to pick up my children from school, which should only take 5 minutes. The impact it has on the jobs that people currently have, the traffic makes people have to leave work earlier. These are things that need to be taken into consideration. Okay. I also want to emphasize that transit-oriented development by design does emphasize the reduction in parking. And the fact that this TOD development does not match any of the classic and basic TOD design requirements really brings into mind and brings into question the real motivation behind the initial rezoning. The fact that there were no true community meetings, the fact that the board members and the elected officials who initially passed this did not require extensive community feedback and community engagement does really bring all of this into question. Again, I'm not anti-development. It is what I do for my job, but I'd like to remind the esteemed elected officials that your responsibility is to the community, not to protect the interests of the few. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. No applause, member. I gave them a hard time too. Next I have Johnny, I'm going to ruin your name, Matrincinik. Johnny, fix it up for me. How do you say it? Okay, there you go. Morning, give your name and address, thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Johnny Martincic. I reside at 46 Terrace Circle, Great Neck, New York. First, I want to start by apologizing to anybody that thinks that my opinion doesn't matter because I don't reside in the neighborhood. You're going to hear from me anyway. I'm a union rep for Steam Fitters, Local 638. I'm going to keep this short and sweet this time. I just want to say to myself, the rest of the delegates, the 14 delegates that represent the 9,000 members, along with our 9,000 members, we just want to go back to work. We want to end this moratorium, get our brothers and sisters and our members back to work. Thanks for your consideration and your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, I have Raymond Groger. Good morning. Your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Raymond Goger, we'll clean that up.
Goger, sorry. Listen, somebody wrote it down, all right?
Business agent, Steam Fitters, Local 638 for Nassau County. And when I left Queens, I've been raised my children in Nassau County, all over, Long Beach, Seaford. Like everyone, all his union reps say, jobs, jobs, jobs. But the people that have these jobs, these younger people, need affordable housing. Where are they going to go into the nice neighborhoods? We all want to leave Queens to raise our families and go to the better schools. We're not going to have them if you turn this into another Amazon, because that's what it looks like. Everything around Hempstead and Nassau County is becoming an Amazon. Amazons take about 20 people to build. There's not a lot of high-paying jobs there, if they are high-paying jobs. So let's lift this moratorium, and let's get people to work, and let's get us young people living out here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, I have Jacqueline Handel. Hi, good morning. Name and address for the record. Thank you.
Handel, 275 Central Avenue, Lawrence. I don't want to repeat what a few of my other neighbors have said, but I just want to tell you how I see it. Number one, I drove down Bayview Avenue yesterday. There are no tall buildings there, just individual houses. Have the people that lived in these houses been asked if they want great big apartment houses? Do they want more traffic? It's a narrow street. I drove from Dowdy Boulevard and Burnside Avenue to 675 Central to pick up something at the cleaner. According to MapQuest, it should take 7 minutes. It took me 42 minutes on Friday. This is the kind of traffic we have in the 5 towns, and I think we ought to rethink the idea of having these buildings put up in our area and continue the moratorium. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor. I do not have any of the slips in front of me. Is there anybody who did not sign in that wishes to be heard on item number 8? Please, if you go to this young lady went first, and then I'll have you go. Good morning. If you give your name and address for the record, thank you.
Esther Minsky Salmon, 81 Brow Avenue, Woodmere, New York. Good morning, board and everybody. I wasn't planning to speak, otherwise I would have prepared a speech, but it just feels really unfair of who came today and who didn't. It is really atrocious, the idea to lift the moratorium. Please extend the moratorium for us, because living in the 5 towns is really becoming horrible. To pick up your kids, it can take you 25 minutes for a 7-minute run. If you need milk, you think twice to run to the store or not at certain hours of the day. It's just awful. And not only that, the parks and the area that is not lived is important. It's called the lungs of the city. It's very important to leave some green areas so that we can have clean air for us to live. And please extend the moratorium. I understand jobs. I understand where you're all coming from, but it's really going to be unsafe. We're the area that everybody travels through to safety, and it's not going to be safe if, God forbid, an emergency happens. Thank you very much, the board.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Supervisor.
I think there's one more speaker that went. Yep, please. Please identify yourself with name and address. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Supervisor Clavin. My name is Jack Mikett. I'll spell my last name for you, M-A-J-K-U-T.
Yep, thank you.
I'm the business representative for IBW Local 25. As my colleague said, we represent a couple of thousand members here in Long Island. I personally am a town resident of town of Hempstead. I hear a lot of concerns about these transit-oriented developments and traffic concerns and whatnot, but the whole concept behind these transit-oriented developments is to reduce traffic by making walkable communities and, lessen the need for cars, especially if you're a retiree who maybe decides to go cut expenses and may want to go down to 1 car versus 2. So, but I have all the confidence in the world in you, Supervisor Clavin, and the board here, that you are going through the proper motions with the secret reviews and everything else. And I know that this can be done right, because that's the concern I heard here today, is that they want to make sure that this is done right and properly. They weren't against, they're against extending the moratorium. However, they weren't against the proper development. And I have every confidence in the world that this board will make sure that's done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is all the speakers I have signed in. Anybody else did not sign in, wish to be heard? All right. I know before We have a motion. Town Attorney, do you want to add something?
Yes, just to clarify and quite frankly to echo what the last speaker just said, the supervisor and the town board has hired Nelson and Pope to do just what many of the speakers have asked for, to review the CEQA process and review this project. And on February 28th, I received a letter from them requesting that this hearing be adjourned because they needed some additional time to do just that, to fully vet this application, vet this zoning, and provide a report that the supervisor and town board can act on. So that's the reason right now for the moratorium.
All right, thank you. And with that, may I please have a motion?
You want a motion?
Yes.
I
Deputy
move
Supervisor?
that,
Oh,
I
Tom?
move the public, you want to?
Whatever, you're so excited to make this motion. Okay.
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item. Thank you,
Supervisor
Doug.
Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Okay, and just to reassure both sides that came out for and against it, this moratorium is for 90 days, John? There will be a hearing scheduled on this within that time period?
Actually, we put it on a town board date, June 21st, so
June-
we expect that some resolution will be covered.
June 28th?
June 21st.
June 21st. So just so everybody can mark it on your calendars, June 21st, all right? It's a timely matter. That way, I even feel better that we gave you the day before, and I appreciate all you coming out here today. And with that, please call the next item, Madam Clerk.
Yes, we have the proposed local law to amend Section 1 and 2 and enact subsection 6 of paragraph C and amend paragraph EE of Section 86-11 of Chapter 86 of the Hempstead Town Code entitled Building Construction Administration regarding application fees.
Okay, all right. Any member of the board wish to be heard on that? All right, I don't have anybody in the public not signed in who wishes to comment. If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the proposal and ask the board to adopt it.
I second that.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Yes.
And Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have the application of 2962 Oceanside LLC for an inclusion of premises within the gasoline service station district and variances from the provisions of the GSS district, and all in accordance with Article 33 of the Building Zone Ordinance to permit the construction of a new gasoline service station and convenience market and associated site work at premises located at 2962 Long Beach Road in Oceanside.
Good morning, Counselor. If you give your name and address for the record.
Good morning, Mr. Supervisor, members of the town board. William Benesso for Chelly Deegan Tirana, 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Uniondale, New York, here on behalf of the applicant, 2962 Oceanside LLC. The LLC, my client, is the owner of a parcel of property known as 2962 Long Beach Road in Oceanside. It is a 1.2 acre parcel of property situated on the southwest corner of Atlantic Avenue and Long Beach Road. It has long been the site of a gasoline service station and convenience market. It also had an automated car wash on the property. The application before the board today is to completely redevelop the site. It has been closed for some time, but it is to redevelop the property with a new 7-Eleven gasoline service station and convenience market with a new canopy and 8 pumps, pumping dispensers, I should say. This is, or may seem a little like deja vu to the board, because only 6 years ago, the board heard almost an identical application and approved it. That was brought by another client of mine, Cumberland Farms, when they owned the property. That proposed almost an identical development with a larger convenience market than what we're proposing. That one was, I believe, 5,275 square feet. We're at 4788 square feet. That one was actually not parking compliant. We have a surplus of parking spaces on this site. So in all key elements or all the key areas, we actually are improving this application over the one that was previously approved in 2018 by Town Board Resolutions 1353 and 1305 of 2018. The project does propose, as I said, a 4,788 square foot convenience store. There'll be significant amount of landscaping. As noted, it's parking compliant. There was a concern expressed when the Planning Commission recommended local determination for this. They did raise the question of our curb cut on Atlantic Avenue. What they were unaware of was that that curb cut will be right in and right out only. It will prohibit left turns in for westbound traffic on Atlantic and left turns out onto Atlantic. That is something that was reviewed by Nassau County DPW and recommended, and our client is intending to implement and will accept as a condition of approval. The two curb cuts on Long Beach Road, one is a right-in only, the other is a full-service right-in, right-out, left-in, left-out at the far south end of the property. So any vehicles heading westbound on East Atlantic, if they want to enter the gas station, they cannot do it by crossing through the intersection and making a left in on the Atlantic Avenue curb cut. Rather, they will have to make a left onto Long Beach Road and either use the right turn in lane or go down a little further and use the full service lane to enter the site. And as noted, Nassau County DPW reviewed that and is good with that plan. The tanks that will be put in are brand new double-walled fiberglass tanks with a 24/7 monitoring system, electronic monitoring system, so that, God forbid, there was some sort of leak, which with the double-walled tanks, it's rare. Nevertheless, they are alerted immediately of any breach in the tank. So that's in place. The property, as I said, is going to be fully redeveloped, all new lighting, all new landscaping, shielded LED lighting. There is no neighboring residential property to this. There's literally a portion of a commercial property to our south, which is a paint store, the back of which is zoned residential, but it is used commercially. So we have no abutting residential properties. Be that as it may, all lighting will be shielded LED lighting so that it only provides light on the property. No light or glare will extend off the property. And in terms of landscaping, it's a substantial increase in landscaping, especially along the site frontages. There are going to be 5 deciduous trees, 45 evergreen trees, 59 shrubs, and we have submitted a landscape plan to that effect. You can see a colored rendering here of the plan. But in any event, this is a project that was approved previously, never got built. Want to put the site back in operation, make it a useful site, and we feel that this is an appropriate use and site development. Very briefly, I have Amanda LaRosa here from Stonefield Engineering, our site engineers. She did perform a traffic study. It was submitted to liaison to the town board, Mr. Bocella, so it's in the record, but I just wanted to have her touch upon the few highlights, so to speak, and then we'll close.
Good morning. My name is Amanda LaRosa. I'm a traffic engineer with the firm Stonefield Engineering and Design. My office is located at 584 Broadway, Suite 310, New York, New York. In connection with this application, my firm has prepared a traffic assessment report dated October 5th, 2023. This report evaluates the trip volumes associated with the proposed 7-Eleven and gas station, as well as evaluating the access plan. In connection with this application, access would be consolidated in comparison to the historic access plan on the site. As you've heard, this application proposes a single right-in, right-out driveway. Along Atlantic Avenue, there would be no left turns allowed at this driveway. There would be one full movement driveway along Long Beach Road located furthest from the intersection, and then one right turn ingress only driveway, and that's most proximate to the intersection. Our assessment concludes that the traffic impacts associated with this application are negligible for 3 main reasons. First, being that the site has historically operated as a gasoline station. Therefore, the adjacent intersection has already accommodated the types of vehicles and similar volumes as are expected with the current application. Second, subject to the approval of this application, the 7-Eleven a block down the road would be relocated. So therefore, the traffic volumes associated with the use are already in the immediate vicinity. And finally, as you've already heard, the prior application was for a slightly larger convenience store than we're currently proposing. And this application does have an improved access plan. With that, I'll turn it back to Mr. Bonesso.
Thank you. That's our direct presentation, Mr. Supervisor. Again, I would ask the board to follow its own precedent with regard to this site in having approved a prior project in 2018. We think this is actually a better one, and we ask you to again approve it. Thank you.
Bill, before I know the councilwoman has a couple of questions for you,
Sure.
just so I get my bearing on it. This is a vacant lot now. They tore everything down, right? It's right at the corner there. And McDonald's is a little bit west of it.
Correct.
And
Right next door.
And the temporary library is across the street. Okay. Any questions of the board?
I have a question.
Councilwoman Ryder was going to go first.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Yes, I have a few questions, please. Forgive me, did you say this was going to include also a car service repair?
No, not
No.
at all. No,
Okay.
no car service repaired, no auto. There used to be an automated car wash on the site. That will not be part of the site. This will strictly be a gasoline service station and convenience market,
Okay, and what are the hours of operation for the 7-Eleven?
24 hours, 24/7.
Okay. So we understand that it was a vacant property for many years, and we want to see that developed in the right manner. And our concern is that we want to see a lot of greenery. We want the site to be beautified and improved, and the property to be maintained in a clean manner.
Certainly, and because this property is over an acre, it will go through site plan review, so it will be back before this board. And during that site plan review, I'm sure that the building department and all the other departments who are involved in that will take a look at the landscape plan, the photometrics, the grading and drainage, everything that's involved in site plan approval. And our client is prepared to do all of what you just said.
Okay, and having the garbage dumpsters enclosed,
As required.
as required, right? And, unfortunately, we've seen other 7-Elevens where they're not being properly maintain the property with trash. And it's very unsightly, it's a quality of life issue, and it's easy to fix. So we would like assurances from the owner of this 7-Eleven that the property will be maintained in a proper manner.
We
Clean
will
manner.
offer up a declaration of restrictive covenants, which will include, among other things, a requirement that the property be kept neat and clean and free of debris.
Thank you. Okay, it's very important to us. Thank you, and to the neighborhood as well.
Agreed.
Mr. Bonesso, I would just stress that Councilwoman Ryder has been working very, very closely with the Oceanside community on beautification, particularly just north of that project where the split is in the road. You remember the old, you'll see the monument split there. So that area is very important. So I would ask that depending on whatever decision we make, you work closely or have your client just work closely, keeping the councilwoman informed of the aesthetics of the area. Because like I said, I know it all too well right now, and that, this could be a vast improvement, but we just want to make sure, it has a nice green footprint on that. Any other board member have any other questions? No?
Thank you, Supervisor, for those comments.
No, it's true. We're making a significant investment down there as we do in other communities, and we appreciate people who want to develop in there, working with everybody. I don't have any slips. Does anybody wish to be heard that did not sign in for this item? Okay, anything you want to add, Mr. Bonesso?
No, sir.
Okay. With that, may I have a motion?
Yes, I would like to make a motion that the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Creedy.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Bonesso, for that, and I look forward to working closely with the councilwoman and I on really beautifying this area down there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Your time.
Okay, with that, I am now going to ask that we have a motion on the administrative calendar.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Madam Clerk.
We have items 11 through 71 on that administrative calendar.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard on the administrative calendar? All right. Oh, we're gonna get I don't have any slips on the administrative calendar. Is anybody that wishes to be heard on the administrative calendar that did not sign in? Great. If you come up to the mic and give your name and address, that'd be great. Good morning. Name and address. Thank you.
Earl Jacobs, Uniondale. My question is, can you please identify the communities that will receive improvements under these community development programs? And will one of these communities be Uniondale? Items 39 to 48.
Okay. Is the acting commissioner here? Bert? Oh, thank you.
Yes, I would like to know, can you identify the communities that will receive improvements under these community development programs? And will one of these communities be Uniondale? I would like them identified. Thank you.
You would like what?
I would like the communities identified that would.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said at the end. That was all I didn't hear.
He heard me. Thank you, though.
Okay. Okay.
Morning, Supervisor and Board. We had a public hearing, just to let you know, on February 29th, which I know you're aware of. We had addressed all these areas. I would like to thank also Senior Councilwoman Arthur Gooseby, who always comes and attends all meetings, supports our office. We did not, I hate to say, have a very good attendance at this, but if people had come, we had addressed all this. What I'd like to talk to Ms. Jacobs about after this program, I can identify all these areas that we had gone through.
Can you just call them by name, please? I don't really have time after this meeting. Can you just identify them by name, the communities that will benefit from these programs?
Well, there'll be Roosevelt, some streetscaping still continuing in Uniondale is what I think you're mainly interested in. You pretty much know those areas. We've spoken to you about it before. The streetscapes along Front Street, Uniondale Avenue in Uniondale.
That streetscaping on Front Street, wasn't that monies that were allocated, I would say maybe 6-7 years ago by Congresswoman Rice at the time?
Listen, we're not going to get into.
I'm just saying.
Well, no, you can say whatever you'd like. I'm just letting you know that just because you said it, we're not going to.
I will meet you after the meeting, sir.
No, Ms. Jacobs is saying we're not going to speculate on who got funding for anything like that. So.
That's fine. I'll talk to you after we can specify more.
I have 5 minutes after the meeting.
Yeah,
okay.
This was addressed in the other meeting, but okay.
I wasn't there. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else wish to be heard on the administrative calendar? Sure. If you give me name and address for the record, thank you.
Diane Madden, Hempstead. Actually, on item number 61, I just wanted to point out to the board, because maybe they don't realize what's going on in the veterinary world, but I believe they just approved a raise for Amy Kane, who's a veterinary technician at the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter. Not a personal friend of mine, not someone I know personally, but I can tell you that all I hear are good things about her work ethic, her love for animals, her commitment and dedication to a shelter that is extraordinarily difficult to work in its current environment. And I wanted to mention that, importantly, the raise that you gave her is almost laughable, because in the private industry, they are giving that amount in a sign-on bonus for veterinary technicians. So it really makes me wonder that if the board isn't aware of the value of employees, and employees where the shelter would suffer a great loss if she were ever to be tempted by the private industry, how can you really place value on the lives of animals? So when you're giving promotions and you're giving raises, particularly at the animal shelter, I really urge you to make comparisons to find out what these individuals would be offered on a sign-on bonus alone with better benefits and pensions, and they can go home at night and not cry from dealing with some of the other veterinary so-called experts you have at the animal shelter. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to reaffirm that if somebody gets something in the private sector, it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be in this sector. This is the government sector, and we never hold anybody back. But I appreciate your comments. Anybody else wish to be heard? If not, may I have a motion on the administrative calendar?
I move the administrative calendar from beginning to the end.
Second.
All right, that will be on items 11 through 71. Supervisor Clavin?
Aye.
Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn?
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby? Councilman Muscarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder?
Aye.
Okay, now that the formal town board program is over and has been adjourned. Oh, actually, I got to make a motion to adjourn. I apologize. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I move a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin?
Aye.
Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn?
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder?
Aye.
Now that the formal town board program has been adjourned, and I think yes means for Tommy Muscarella, yes, not whatever it is he says, we will remain to listen to the comments of residents. Got a couple people signed in here, and we'll start with Pearl Jacobs.
Pearl Jacobs, Uniondale. I would like to show my sign here, D. Esposito Selective Funding. So that would be $1.2 million for Baldwin, $2.5 million for Long Beach, $330,000 for the Village of Freeport, $1.5 million for the town of Hempstead, $750,000 for Oceanside, $241,000 for Rockville Center, $600,000 for Island Park, $638,000 for the town of Hempstead, and more money, $406,000 for Lynbrook, and $3.6 million for the 5 towns. Councilwoman Gooseby, how would you weigh in on this?
Ms. Jacobs, as you know, this is the public comment section time,
Okay,
so
but
we're happy to listen to you. You came up.
Talk to me. Listen, I'm going for it.
Okay.
I'm asking how would she weigh on this? You're not allowing her to talk.
No, I'm not. No, Ms. Jacobs, again, you're coming in with some figures you purport to be your numbers. I don't know the validity of it.
I would call this glaring racism.
Okay.
Okay? That's why I don't wear my shirts light.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Residents of Uniondale pay taxes, yet there is no investment in our community. Uniondale's robust tax revenues are steered to the general fund, and Uniondale is left to languish with deteriorating infrastructure, abandoned lots, and a plethora of unresolved quality of life issues. And she always walks out on me when I speak, or anyone that's speaking about Uniondale, or if it's not good, or if it's not picture time, she walks out. Okay? So Uniondale is only,
Ms. Jacobs, you can take your opportunity, but you don't have to insult the deputy supervisor, who's an icon.
I'm talking. Uniondale is only favorable now to be the home of a massive casino development that would further compromise our environmental issues and increase our asthma rates among our minority youth, which currently are 17% asthma rates in Uniondale among our youth, 21% asthma rates among our youth in Roosevelt, and 25% asthma rates among our youth in Hempstead. Minority communities don't matter. Thank you, D. Esposito, for coming out and being the racist that you are. Uniondale, nothing. Roosevelt, nothing. And I'm sure Hempstead got nothing as well.
You just read a number that said Hempstead got something a minute ago. So I think you said Hempstead did get a number. I'm confused. No, I'm just saying you actually gave us a number for Hempstead. Was that incorrect? I thought you said Village of Hempstead. I'm sorry. I thought you did. It must have been over you're yelling. I apologize. Just so you know, also, I'm sure. Thank you, Ms. Jacobs. As always, it's a pleasure. I'm sure you have no political agenda. I don't have any other slips. Anybody else wish to be heard? Sure. If you give your name and address for the record, that'd be great. Want to let? Oh, okay. If you want to get and jump in front of him, it's fine. Okay.
Good morning, Chris Jacobs, Uniondale. Back on March 1st, I read an email from the Around the Town with Don Clavin, and you yourself, Supervisor, and Councilman Dunn, erected a LED stop sign at the John G. Dinkelmeyer Elementary School. This past October, there was a LED sign installed at the corner of Forest Road and Brook Road in Valley Stream. My question is, and also just to piggyback off something, Councilwoman Gooseby attended the Uniondale PTA Candidates Forum back in this past February. I'm trying to figure out what does the town of Hempstead do when it comes to picking out where these LED stop signs go? Because during that meeting, a lot of residents expressed how people run stop signs all the time. It's a safety issue. I believe that every school should have it, so I'm trying to figure out how does the town of Hempstead itself figure out what schools are going to get them, what schools are not, or what corner is going to get them, because there's a massive plethora of schools within the town of Hempstead that are basically, they're on high traffic roads devoid of traffic lights. And so my question for you, Supervisor, is how does the town of Hempstead determine what areas get the LED stop signs?
A lot of the recommendations come from the town board members who have requested the school district. In fact, I think the first one we unveiled was in Uniondale at the request of one of the school districts there. So if you have a suggestion, I ask you to reach out to the deputy supervisor or your school district. I'm sorry, I'm answering your question. You can reach out to your deputy supervisor or the school district superintendent. As you know, there are a plethora of schools throughout the town of Hempstead. Unfortunately, these signs are expensive, so we try and work with them. So like I said, you can work with the deputy supervisor or your superintendent if you have any ideas.
Oh, yes. Actually, about maybe half a year ago, one of the assistants from the councilwoman came up to me and asked me, and I said that schools such as California Avenue should have one, Northern Parkway should have one. So I'm trying to figure out how that never materialized from there. She was at least 10 residents talked to her at that PTA forum. So I believe that certain schools, all of them should have it. Like all of them should have it. There's plenty of, especially in elementary schools.
Do you know how many school districts are in the town of Hempstead?
I don't know how many.
I'm asking you.
No, I know.
Do you know how many stop signs are located in front of school districts throughout the town of Hempstead?
Well, I can drive past.
I was just wondering if you knew, because I would love to, kind of work that. If you know, maybe we'll try and find out.
Well, I just think all of them should have it, not just middle schools, just all of them.
Not just what?
All the schools should have them, especially the schools on roadways with devoid of traffic lights and high traffic.
Great. Reach out to your superintendent.
Well, I'm saying, I would talk to all the superintendents because
that's what we do. We just did 2 of them this week. So I'm saying you reach out to your superintendent. We did one in Elmont this week, and I think we did one down in Oceanside a couple weeks ago. We did one in Belmore. So we work with the superintendents. So I'd say reach out to the superintendent or reach out to the deputy supervisor. That'd be great.
Okay. And also one suggestion before my time runs out while I wasn't talking. But basically, Saddle Rock installed stop sign cameras, and I think that'd be a good idea to make the town of Hempstead money and everybody safer. Thank you.
Okay. Next, Diane, I think you're up.
Supervisor, if there was truth in that last statement you made, that it's advantageous to work for a government shelter as opposed to the private industry, and veterinarians would be lined up at the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter and not running from working there. When the board passed a resolution in August of 23 allowing for an unlimited amount of dogs to be shipped to an unlimited, unregulated facilities for an unlimited amount of tax dollars, I asked the board to implement guidelines. They did not. I would like to know how many tax dollars were spent or will be spent or have been spent to ship 27 dogs across the nation in the past few weeks.
Ms. Madden, this is the time we listen. If you want to send something in writing, we're happy to follow up with it.
I understand that. I'm asking for some transparency since the town refused to implement any safety guidelines and any amount of capped tax dollars. I understood and I knew you would not be answering that, Supervisor.
Okay.
By the way, with no foundation to do anything different other than refilling those same 27 cages, institutionalizing the next 27 dogs without making any changes to the foundation. When Laura Gillen did this, you outwardly, as tax receiver, spoke against this, and we were very pleased about that. But for some reason, you have allowed as supervisor, and that is really very, very sad and actually shameful. And if it wasn't shameful, you would have been there at the photo ops, but I kind of appreciated that you weren't, because you tend to not do things that you're not really proud of. Another redeeming quality. The town didn't want to privatize the shelter, and yet they're behaving like a private shelter in the way that a private shelter really only works with donations, but the town of Hempstead pretends to be a private shelter by using 800,000 residents, their tax dollars, and simultaneously keeping animals out. And if you don't believe me, take a look at the amount of animals that are in need of sheltering right now being turned away. So basically, their idea currently of shelter reform is turning away animals in need and using tax dollars to ship others across the nation. So basically, what are we looking to end up with? An animal shelter that's empty, but at $6.2, almost $3 million animal shelter budget? That's not shelter management. That's not shelter reform. That's a scheme. And I urge you to immediately, this is my purpose here today, to launch a fiscal, financial, and operational audit of the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter based on the poor decisions that have been made. And I ask you to do that willingly, Supervisor, to launch a fiscal, operational audit of the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter to find out where your problems are, what your problems are, how to fix it, and how to take responsibility for tax dollars and the lives of animals that depend on you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mann, as always.
And by the way,
Nope.
you made a comment that...
No, we're good. We're moving on. We have the young lady right there. Ms. Madden, you know the rules, please. Please, ma'am, come on up to the mic there. It's your opportunity to speak. No, Diane, we're not going to go. Diane, please, thank you so much. No idea what you said. Okay. How you doing? If you give your name and address, thanks.
Hi, good morning. My name is Stephanie Chase.
Hi, Ms. Chase.
From Lakeview. That's a community. I'm just concerned about Eagle Avenue, the north and the south side. The buildings are horrific over there. There's a row of businesses that are not kept up. It looks horrible. Blight. It just looks horrible coming into our community. The other side, you guys, I know I spoke about this before, and then I did see a sign go up on the other side of Eagle Avenue where they have a lot of equipment, dump trucks and cranes, it looks like. They did put up a tarp around so you can't see inside, but you can still see over. I don't understand why this is being allowed. It just looks horrible coming into our community. I don't know what else. I don't know what to do about this. It's like someone's trying to destroy our beautiful community.
Ms. Chase, what I'll say is, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Probably at the intersection, right? If you come over the bump of the tree. Yeah, I know. So this is the acting commissioner of the building department. He can go over what it's zoned. Some of it turns into what's zoned there or allowed. But I'll tell you, Councilwoman Ryder, as you know, has had multiple days of cleanup. Eagle Avenue is a county road, but we want to beautify it. And you know what? We've had the crews down there, Quality of Life, doing particularly the train station, working with you very well. What I'd ask you sit with Danny. He can go over particularly what maybe it's zoned for, but maybe point out some of the things. And Danny, you'll assure me right now that if you have to send somebody down there and write citations and get some of these people aware that the residents want it taken care of, you'll do that for us. Okay.
And one other thing, the park, Harold Walker Park, the recreation room.
Yeah, I was down there last week. By the way, it's funny. No, it's funny. I stopped in the other night just to down there. So Frank will tell you, I drive him nuts. They're redoing some of the things down there because I didn't like some of the amenities inside. So it's funny you bring that. Oh no, absolutely. It was a little too cold for me, and I didn't like how it looked. Yeah, so I took it to heart. It was there was a truck there, and I wanted to know what it was, and they're redoing the pool, and they told me it was, and I went for a tour, and I called Frank at 8:15 at night, so it worked out real well for all of us.
Okay.
All right, you got it, Ms. Chase.
Supervisor, may I comment?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, ma'am, ma'am.
Ms. Chase, hold on. How you doing?
Hi. Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming down and thank you for your comments. I just wanted to let you know that I have been working actively with the Civic Association in Lakeview, particularly those stores that are on Woodfield Road, to clean that up, and also our excellent quality of life task force has been down cleaning on the MTA property. It's actually MTA property in addition to other property around the Lakeview Avenue, around the Woodfield Road area, and also along the train tracks cleaning up. Our quality of life task force has been eradicating graffiti on Lakeview Avenue, on Woodfield Road, at the park. And so we've also placed more garbage cans, and I'm working with the Civic Association. They're going to advise me of where they would like planters, beautification planters. We've let the decision up to them where they would like them placed, and we're going to have that done this spring. Well, our Quality of Life Task Force is going to bring the planters down and also provide the plantings. And we're also looking at some streets that have speeding problems. So we're looking at installing some additional stop signs, perhaps a speed bump or two. And also on another street, we're addressing issues where on Lakeview Avenue, there is a car dealership that is parking vehicles on some residential streets and making it very difficult for the residents to park. And I've been in contact with the Nassau County Police Department, the police commissioner, to ask him to increase enforcement on those residential streets that are affected. So we've been working very hard in Lakeview, and I very much appreciate your input. And if you have any other concerns that you would like to see addressed, I would ask that you please contact my office, and we're happy to do so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm a member of the Civic Association also, and the NAACP. We have a meeting with you.
Yes, yep.
Coming up in April.
Yeah, so you can see that we're working very hard to address the issues that are brought up by the residents. And we look forward to continue doing so.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chase. All right. With that, I'll tell everybody to have a great day and enjoy the beautiful weather this week.